C asks for what is happening to the slope from p-values of less than 3. So what we can do is we can actually just test some p-values. So I can plug in p-values of, for example, 0. When p is 0, the slope is going to be, I plug in 0 for p, so I get negative 9 over positive 6 or negative 1.5. And I can just plug in a bunch of numbers to see what's happening to the slope as we go from negative 3 to, from 3 to some more negative numbers. And when we do this, we can see that there's a pattern and they all tend towards 0, but at a negative value. Now, an easier way to see this is if we actually graph this function. So this graph, the function on the right here, this is m on the y-axis and p on the x-axis of this function. And we can see that from the graph, as at x equals 3, there is an asymptote. But as we go to the left, or p-values get smaller, we tending towards from a vertical slope to a negative but more horizontal slope. And then for part D, we can use the graph again for this. So it asks us to plug in some values for x equals, p equals, I think 4, 5, 6, all the way to 10. But we can just see here from the graph that when p is bigger than 10, it's going to be, the values are going to tend towards a slope of, it looks like in both cases, slope of negative 1. So as p gets large positively, it goes to negative 1. And as p goes to more negative, slope tends towards negative 1 as well. And there is a transition point here. So when p is equal to 4, so p equals 4, we know the slope is positive because it's above the x-axis. But when p equals 5, the slope is going to be negative because we see that this point here, all this is going to be negative slope and is tending towards negative 1.